Hello, beautiful humans. Thanks for joining me again. You are watching another episode of Who Says We Can't? Who Says We Can't? That's better. Where I tell you stories of incredible women doing amazing fucking things now and throughout history. They make their own rules and they don't listen to what any man tells them. And I think that's worth talking about. So, if you're interested in stories about strong women, you're in the right place. Let's go. Today we're talking about Clara Hughes. Now, Clara Hughes is known around the world as an Olympic champ. You might have heard of her in this way before. She's actually the only Olympic champ and Olympic athlete to earn multiple medals in both summer and winter games. Now, while that's an incredible accomplishment, obviously, it's actually not the part of her story that we're going to focus on today. So, apart from her Olympic career, I want to talk about Clara Hughes because she's done some amazing things, and also I find a lot of myself in Clara and the stories that she tells about her youth and her struggle with mental health. So these are the things that you're not going to find on her Wikipedia page. And yet these are the things that make her such a beautiful human in my eyes. And well, you can let me know what you think about it in the comments below if you'd like. But yeah, so Clara Hughes, she was raised in Winnipeg, Canada. I'm also Canadian. And she states that she grew up in an unsafe home. Now, this was due in part to her father, who was an alcoholic, among other things, But by all accounts from her, it was not a happy, nurturing home. And Clara, of course, took to her own methods to escape that pain and numb, etc. So at the age of 13, actually the same age that I was, she started to use drugs and alcohol to cope with the shit that she was too young to cope with, to deal with. And for the next few years, this was her reality, skipping school, getting into trouble, numbing herself with drugs and alcohol and substances, risky behavior, you get the picture. This was me at 13 too. It's to hear her talk about it, it was like, oh yeah, I got you, Canadian girl. Yeah, I know. That shit's hard. Yeah. But luckily for Clara, or well, not luckily, but she made that effort. So at 16, she traded in these vices kind of for a new one, a new distraction that would become her next obsession. And in the hopes, of course, always of, forgetting that pain inside and escaping from that shit that we don't want to deal with, But at 16, she, kicked the other things, the skipping school, the drugs, the things, and she turned to hardcore training. So she trained in skating and then cycling. And she really just threw herself into that like high octane level of ruthless competition and training and diet and, like extreme regiments and things like this. So that was her new way to cope with what she couldn't control and process from what was happening at home. Now, she kicked ass, she achieved her goals of winning medals. She became the best. Like I said, she's the only Olympic athlete to earn multiple medals in both summer and winter. That was in skating and cycling. And yet she talks about coming home after these wins, after this incredible achievement, and how she still felt empty. She still felt lost. She talks about how I mean, she was voted the best in the world, you know, and it still did not resolve her internal struggles, the battle going on inside her. You know, obviously it might have quieted it for a while, but we know that shit always comes back. Always. And it's fucking shit. Like, why? I thought I got rid of you. I won an Olympic medal times 6. Like, what the fuck? But no, it doesn't go away just because you win a medal, you know? But we want it to. And she wanted it to. She wanted those medals to somehow fix her family, you know, to come back an achiever, a winner, and wave that magic wand, that medal, and for everything to be better. And it wasn't. I think we can relate to that. I can relate to that. And this is one part of the story, not only like the risky behavior at such a young age, but coming back to your hometown, to your family home, to that dynamic, and feeling like, okay, I've made something of myself. I did it. For me, it was being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And I came back expecting that would somehow make a difference in my, fucked up little family. Like, as if we can fix the brokenness by being better. And in her case, in Clara's case, being the best. Now that doesn't work. We want it to work so bad, but it doesn't. And, well, if you're new here to Violet's Age, I mean, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to want to fix your family or the people you love. And it's okay to not be able to. It's okay. It doesn't work. No matter how good or the best that you are, it's not going to fix the people and the situations around you. So, now Clara, she's an Olympic champ. She's come home. She's right back to feeling depressed. At the same time, no one wants to hear about a depressed Olympic champ. That's not what they want. That's not what they're investing in, the sponsors and the people. That's not what they want. They want, and they force and insist, a glowing, charming, bubbly champion, who they can parade around. Literally, they have to go on this tour of all of these things and meet all of these people and smile and schmooze and small talk and pose for pictures and all of the things, Like, just think back to the last time you had to attend an event and you were feeling like absolute garbage, like shit. You just wanted to like hide under the covers. You didn't want to go. You have to go. You feel like you have to go. And now, like, multiply that by 1 million, literally, people who are watching her every move and, recording her and writing her words to write an article on it and all of these things. And you can imagine the pressure and the disconnect and that facade that you have to put on in order to fulfill this expectation of being an Olympic champion and what you should feel like and how you should act because of that. So while all of the feelings of like immense weight that comes with the depression, it's just like heavy. It's like an elephant that sits on your chest. Like you can't breathe. And then, like the skin crawlies that you just like, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. But nobody wanted to hear about this. Nobody wanted that from her. They wanted a photo op. So for a while, she did it. Of course, you do it. You try your best. You soldier on. You keep going. But then at some point, Clara realized that the journey to truly being like successful and happy meant turning inwards and working through that dark, icky, gross shit that she had been running away from. Amazingly, she did it, but even better, she didn't stop there. So she then began, after getting herself her own help and having healthy boundaries and habits and feeling those feelings that we push away and push down and numb and all the things that we put on top of it, and we close it up in a little box and we put it on the top shelf in the corner where we'll never see it again. Surprise, it's still there. So she opened that box, she went through it, she unpacked her shit. Now, she herself says, obviously, this journey is never finished, but she made huge progress for herself. And then she started speaking out publicly, even though nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear from an Olympic champion who was feeling depressed, who was dealing with mental health issues. Those two things did not go together. You can't sell that at that time. Like, it wasn't a popular thing. If you weren't how they wanted you to be, that was it. But she fought against that, and she spoke, and she said, her depression, the dark side of the intense training, the pressure and focus on external achievements, this was not healthy. And she speaks openly about her depression and addiction and how they cannot be fixed or cured by externally achieving XYZ. Even if that XYZ are world championships and Olympic games and things like this, they cannot fix what's inside. So she speaks about the importance of mental health for all humans, even those, and maybe especially those who seem to have it all figured out. They're successful, they're winners. What the hell do you have to be depressed about? That's fucked up. We're humans. No matter what we've accomplished or not, we all have our feelings, we all have our emotions. And she advocates for, let's fucking talk about it. Let's put some importance on this. And obviously, I just love that. One of her quotes, I like this one, is, "Your worth isn't determined by external achievements. It comes from within." And you know what? I'm going to just tell myself that every motherfucking day. Powerful words from an Olympic champion, who was like trained for years and years to then go on to win multiple medals in multiple games across multiple sports. And she is saying, that's not where it comes from. That's not it. That's not the golden ticket. That's not the magic wand. That's not the fix. So imagine, we're out here fucking busting our ass trying to be the best employee, the best this, the best that, the everything. No, that's not where it comes from. So I think, for me anyway, and let me know what you think in the chat below, but from Clara, we can learn that the most important journey we can go on is like inside, getting right down deep in there. The one that like our inner voice whispers to us when the distractions stop working, when the alcohol's worn off, when the drugs have worn off, when there's no more, frantic, hectic work day to do, when you're just have a moment, even if it's 10 seconds to just be you. What is that little voice saying inside of you? What is she saying deep down in there? She's there. Can we listen? It often means, unfortunately, trudging through this pain and the trauma of our past just so we can, get to the other side. We can re-emerge on the other side with like this loud, bold, confident voice like Clara to guide others toward their inner path. She did it. She's doing, and like she says, and I believe it's a continual process. There's no stop, there's no end date, but she's doing it. And on the way, she's using her voice. And yes, she has a platform to speak to a wider audience because of her Olympic medals. And, she's gone on to be I think it's the RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, like mental health spokesperson, advocate. She uses that power that came from going through the shit, going through the sludgy, icky, gross mud. That is our bullshit that we carry with us, the stories we tell, the trauma, the pain that we carry with us. On the other side, that's where we can be. And once you get to the other side, or at least, partially there, we can be louder, we can take up more space, and we can be more comfortable speaking about the things that we're going through. On the other side of this, there's beauty. There's that genuine human connection. So I really love Clara's story, not only because it hits me right in the feels, as a Canadian woman who also grew up in an unsafe home, who also turned to dangerous distractions at a young age, who, as a daughter who wanted so badly to fix my broken family, as someone, putting on this thick mask to hide the depression and just genuine, normal human feelings. When the world wanted Clara to be one thing, she quieted the noise and she really turned inward to become herself, to heal herself and get to know herself underneath that pain and underneath that trauma. She is an amazing woman, not because of what she accomplished in the Olympics. Also, for that, yes, but not only for that. She's an amazing woman because she went through that hard, hard path. She came out on the other side, is still continuing down it, but uses her voice to help other women and other, high achieving adults who don't feel they're safe in saying, I feel unfulfilled, I feel lost, I feel empty, I feel depressed, whatever it may be. No matter what you've accomplished externally, that's not going to change your feelings internally, deep, deep down. And it doesn't change your worth as a human. Remember that you're not alone on this journey. You are whole, you are amazing, you're wonderful, you're perfect. You're showing up, you're here, you're learning about other amazing women. That's it, you're doing it. Thanks for joining me. This was another episode of Who Says We Can't? Amazing fucking woman.